Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well today. So today in this video I'm going to be doing swatches of 3 iDivine palettes from Sleek. So all 3 of these palettes are matte palettes. They are $9.99 US on Sleek's website. I'm not sure how much they are in the UK, but I recently received all 3 of these palettes from a swap that I did with a friend here on YouTube. So she lives in the UK. Her name is Amanda McCleary, which is also the same name as her channel, and I will do a link to her channel below in the description box of this video. And I was super excited to do this swap with her, not only because I could get some US products to her that she wanted, but also because I've wanted these 3 particular palettes for a long time, and they actually don't ship to the United States because I think there's some ingredient in Sleek's matte formula that isn't allowed currently into the United States, so they can't ship these. But I actually am still doing this video for you guys because, you know, you may not live in the United States, and also one of my viewers recently told me that you can actually find these on Amazon now. So I had checked Amazon like a while back and I couldn't get them then, but now they actually are on Amazon. So if you really want these palettes, you can definitely check them out there. So I'm going to show you all 3 of the palettes so that you can see the colors, so you don't have to wait all the way through this video if you aren't interested in them. But the first one that I got is called Ultra Matte's V1. And it's got like super bright matte colors that are very pigmented. And then the second one that I got is called Ultra Matte's V2. And it is more neutrals, if I can get into the palette. Okay, here we go. It's more neutral shades right there. And then the third palette is another really bright one, and it is called Acid 570. And it looks like this. And so the first one that I'm going to do swatches of is the first one I showed you, which was Ultra Matte's V1. And so this is what the palette looks like. And so the swatches are here. So let me see, how am I going to do this? Alright, so the blue right here, I've swatched for you right there. It's not quite as pigmented on my hand, but it still shows up really well for a light blue. A lot of times you have to put a white base under a light matte blue to get it to show up as well as this one is. Oh, there you go. I turned my hand and now you can see that it actually shows up quite nicely. And then this bright pink is super, super bright and pigmented, very lovely. And then the purple that you see right here is actually one of the ones that showed up not quite as bright as the others. It's right here. It's definitely not any kind of muted purple or anything like that. Like, it strikes you as like, oh, this is purple, but it's not like a really, really bright, deep pigmented purple. And then this green right here is right here. The other pink that looks very similar to this one, it's actually right here, and it's not as bright as the other one. So that's the bright one. This is the other one. And then this matte yellow actually shows up quite pigmented for a matte yellow without any kind of like white base underneath it. A lot of times they have a hard time showing up. So there it is right there. And then the bottom row, there's another green that's not quite as bright as this forest green was up there. And there's that green. And then the blue is quite bright right there. The orange also shows up pretty well. And you can see it right there. And then there are 3 shades that are lighter in nature. There's just a light pink, a light gray, and a light white. Well, what other kind of white is there? A light pink, a light gray, and a white, I guess I should say. And so all 3 of those, I don't even know if they're going to show up on the camera, but I mean, you do see them on the skin as much as you ever see, like a light pink and a light gray and a light white. So they're all over there. Hopefully they show up a little bit. They may not show up on camera, but anyway, so that is that palette. So the next palette is the Ultra Matte's V2 palette, and so it has the more neutral colors, the darker colors, and so this one in general, it kind of has like, I mean, it has a couple of lighter shades that are matte here and here, but in general, most of them are deeper shades of the various colors. So this is kind of like a good palette to have like as a companion to another palette that has sort of medium tones of a lot of these and medium neutral tones, because you could make a smoky eye of any color kind of using this palette. And so like there's a deep peacock green kind of color right there, and then there's a deep navy, a deep purple, a deep very dark charcoal gray, a deep green, a deep sort of maroon type purpley maroon color, and then there's a deep brown, a deep sort of cranberry kind of color. It looks more orange on my monitor or more pink on my monitor, but I'm not sure. It looks more red in person. And then a medium gray. And then, so let me show you the swatches of them. So the peacock green kind of color is right here. And in the palette it is, oops, trying to figure out how to do this. There we go. In the palette it's right there. And then the blue color is right, I've swatched it right underneath where you see it in the palette. The purple is right underneath where you see it in the palette, and the gray is right underneath that. And then on the very edge of my hand, I swatched the two lighter shades. This one kind of disappears on my hand, but this one is white in the pan, and it actually shows up really, really nice for a white matte shadow. It doesn't look chalky, but it does show up on your skin, and it's very nice without a base under it or anything. And then, oh, and by base I meant a white base. Like I actually do have Urban Decay primer in Eden underneath my hand under all of these swatches. And then the gray right there is right next to it on my hand. And then, let's see how I'm going to do this. You can see the cranberry type color is swatched right there. The sort of light orangey kind of color, neutral color, is right here. And then the brown right here, the dark brown, is swatched right here on my hand. And it almost has like a slight sheen to it, but it's really pretty matte. And then this is the dark sort of maroon color and the dark green, and in the palette both of those are right here, maroon and green. So almost all of these, you can see they look true to pan pretty much. And so, you know, both of these last palettes that I showed you have, I think, the same formula, and they're just like really, really, really lovely for mattes. They blend really easily for mattes, and for the price, it's incredible. Sleek shadows, they end up running like something around $1 per shadow. So in general, it's just a really, really nice quality. Alright guys, and the last palette is the Acid palette. And so I know I said that all of these were matte, and I guess I'm sorry guys, but I completely spaced the fact that there are 3 shimmer shades in the Acid palette and 1 shade that's kind of more like along the lines of like a sheen. So the Acid palette looks like this. It's kind of got like this little embossed like print on it. And so a lot of other like nice, unique kind of bright shades. And so let me show you, right here there is a bright pink. If I can get it to focus. There we go. And then in the palette, the bright pink is right next to my hand. So this one right here. And then the white is right here and swatched right here. The yellow is right here and swatched right here. The yellow showed up really well. The white, not as much as the last palette that I showed you guys. And then there is an orange color right here. And that is right here on my hand, and it's also like, both of these are kind of like neon type shades, and I think that they will pop a lot more if I did like a white base, like NYX Milk pencil like underneath them. And then the next two are 2 of the shimmer shades. There's 2 blue kind of shades. This one's more greenish blue and lighter than this one, and this one right here, the greenish blue one, kind of has like chunky pieces of fallout, so you have to tap off your brush really good before you go to apply it, but then it kind of blends into the skin nicely. So those are those 2. This blue one's like very, very shimmer, like almost metallic. And then over here we have a purple color, a light green that's kind of unique. Actually, I don't think I have one just like that in my collection. And so those 2 in the palette are right here and here. And then right here we have a bright pink and a bright green. And on my hand they are right here and right here. So they both showed up really well as well. And then a deep gray shimmer shade, and then a, what I believe is supposed to be black in the palette. It kind of looks more like black, but it really looks more like a deep gray because it's not a very pigmented black. So anyway, that does it for all of the swatches. And so in general, again, these are cheap eyeshadows. I don't think there's anything like that in the United States, in my opinion. Like palettes that have like 12 eyeshadows for like 10 bucks, when they're that nice. Like all of these mattes, they just blend so nicely, and it's unbelievable. And like, again, if you are new to seeing these palettes, they're so sleek, just like the name of the company. Like they're so skinny, and they're just really, really, really like sturdy kind of, and like the mirrors inside of them are nice. And so if you guys have not checked out sleek palettes, I totally recommend all the iDivine palettes. I have several more, and I think I did a video on them some time back, so I'll try to go find that and then also do a link below to that in case you want to check out the other eyeshadows that I have as well. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, check out Amanda's channel, and I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing these swatches, and I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!